You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. I'm purposely trying to walk a lot of you through this so you understand, because I keep saying on this show, we have to connect the dots.
Yes, sir.
What you have to understand is that, guys, can you pull that map back up? If you can't, I'll pull it up out here. But let me know if you can pull that map up. The reason this map is important, the reason it's important for you to understand this, because this is where black people are.
That's right, brother.
Follow me here, folks. When we talk about gerrymandering, and again, you're not going to have folks explain this to you on these cable networks because they don't want to do that. Whoever controls the legislature draws not just congressional districts, but the state districts. They draw state Senate districts, state representative districts, which means that what they'll do is they will draw the state districts in their favor so they can maintain control, which is why Republicans have a supermajority in Florida. Democrats can't do jack. They used to have a supermajority in North Carolina. Until the last election, Democrats were able to convince these white folks like, yo, y'all getting screwed too. They've got supermajorities in a number of places. What does that mean? That means they can pass whatever they want. Democrats can't do jack. They can yell, scream, do whatever. So the gerrymandering thing, folks, ain't about Congress. It's really about the state seats. So if you were able to draw competitive state seats, you're likely not to see whether they are red or blue, Democrat or Republican. You're likely not to see one party ruling the legislature. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. And so this is critically important for people to understand that for all you simple Simons who sit your asses at home, who don't vote, but bitch about issues, if you don't vote for your state rep and you don't vote for your state senator, those are the people who are drawing the districts, not the members of Congress. The state representative and the state senator is drawing the very district, the member of Congress. The member of Congress has no power whatsoever in the drawing of their own congressional district.
That's right.
Right, and which is why it's particularly dangerous that we have a political party that's entertaining Russia infiltrating our elections and having no problem with that, and starting to now get into the business of being okay with election interference on that micro level. And so we don't even know about the details in Florida because they won't tell us.
But also, again, for you simple Simon-ass people who really get on my nerves when it comes to this stuff, what you have to understand is not just even a question of who is now drawing the districts. It now then goes to what Republicans are doing. And again, if you can be a Republican, that's fine with me. But prove to me I'm wrong when in Michigan, the voters put it on the ballot. A state amendment, a ballot initiative for there to be an independent commission to draw the districts, and Republicans say, we're going to ignore that.
Right.
Right. Well, because they
Driscoll right here. We're going to ignore it. We're going to ignore it.
You keep referring to the simple Simons, right? Fundamentally, this issue of states' rights goes back to the very founding of our country, right? When we think about civil rights, when we think about the Civil War, all the way up to the Dixiecrats, right? It's always been this control of the states, right? Because
they wanted to control slavery.
They wanted slavery.
Right.
And to this day, they still want to control us. Right, so we have to be very clear on what they're doing. This is a issue. This is historical. This has been since the beginning of time, right? So it's really history is just repeating itself, and it looks differently. And to your point is that we have to be educated enough, and Democrats have to be equally sly and political about gaining control and focusing on the Supreme Court and the court system.
Yeah, because
as
once
Republicans have
great, but I got to go, Greg, in the thing you made a great point about in terms of, from the beginning, federal rights and states' rights.
Right.
This is also why, again, y'all want to, if you support reparations, that's fine. But here's what you need to also be understanding, Greg, and let's speak to this. When you talk about that whole states' rights piece, that very issue goes specifically to slavery. What that was about was, we are not going to let the federal folks tell us what to do.
Right. Right.
Now, let's go forward.
Right.
Dred Scott decision, that was Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
You go forward to the Civil Rights Act of 1875, the Supreme Court, 8-1 decision, invalidates that.
That's right.
But then says, y'all who ain't read a damn thing, Supreme Court literally said, Congress does not have the power
That's right.
to end segregation.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Because they said it was a state right.
Rights.
That's right.
Now we go through 92 years of Jim Crow. States can do whatever the hell they want to do when it comes to education, when it comes to busing, when it comes to everything. How does it get dismantled? Lawsuits, federal court, black folks go, no. If Trailways goes from Georgia into Florida, interstate commerce.
Right.
Then it changes.
Right.
Then conservatives say, damn, now they got us. And if y'all understand the system, it was because of Brown v. Board of Education. First of all, there were two, Brown 1 and Brown 2. Because of those Civil Rights Act, when you had the creation of all of these right-wing think tanks.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the creation, Greg, was solely to how do we ensure the courts never do this again?
Absolutely. Well, Roland, you've just laid out the roadmap for how we beat this. We've got to be smart. And to be smart, we have to study. This isn't about hashtags or social media or disruptive technology or making the right movie or hitting the heartstrings. You see, there's never been a United States of America. Anybody who says that there has been, I know you got a digital platform now. Let's just lay it out for hour upon hour. I dare anybody to show me where there has been. What there's been is a settler state that has extended itself over a continent. And slavery was a compromise made between those areas in that settler state that didn't need it, directly, and those that did. That's where the Electoral College came from. Dred Scott was never completely overturned in the legal sense because Roger Taney created a notion of national and state-based identity. He says a citizen is a citizen of the state they're in and of the United States, as if there's something different. That's how he was able to create basically a federal blackness. But the Brown decision really turns on foreign policy. America couldn't keep doing what it was doing to black people as it was attempting to go out there and colonize the world in the wake of World War II. So what you have is a certain arbitrariness in federal court decisions. That's why dissents are important. Just like they talked about Justice Harlan's dissent in Plessy in the Brown case, the dissents that we see today, the one that Kagan read from the bench, for example, if the politics changes, that will become the majority, that will become law. And that's why we have to understand that we're looking at the legal universe, the American legal universe, as if it's mathematics. It's not math. This is politics. So you can't follow it from 1787 when they ratified the federal constitution to 2019 like these things make sense. They don't make sense. This is a racial gerrymander that they had the votes to overturn, so they decided to do it. But don't try to make this make sense in the wake of what has happened before. You just keep participating, and when you bang on them enough, you will be able to reverse this. But quit acting like you live in a country where they give a damn. Mitch McConnell's a white supremacist, and Russians and anybody else that will get him to his goal, he'll take it.
Well, first of all, the Russians are also white supremacists.
No question.
And here's the piece here, Lauren. When you talk about fighting, now, and I'm reading some of y'all comments. Y'all like, oh, Roland's trying to get us to vote Democrat. No, I'm trying to get you to vote common damn
When
sense.
did you say that? Please, Roland.
Right.
Talk too much.
I'm trying to get you to vote issues. This is very simple.
Come on.
This is real simple for me. This is real simple. If I support civil rights and Professor Driscoll don't support civil rights, I don't give a damn what the letter is.
Yes.
I support civil rights.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask the question,
Yes.
do you support civil rights?
Yes.
Right.
If the person says no, I ain't voting for your ass. This ain't hard. Now, if there happen to be more Democrats who support civil rights and more Republicans who don't support civil rights, who the hell you think I'm going to vote for?
Bro, let
The
me,
one support civil rights.
let me make this point because you today with this immigration bill that just passed the Senate. Who did we see that voted no against that bill when it first came on the floor in the House? It was Ocasio-Cortez, it was Ayanna Pressley, it was Ilhan Omar, and it was Rashida Tlaib. Now, they are Democrats, but what they said is, you can't just give money to Donald Trump. He's not going to spend it for the children. You got to take these D's and R's off. What is your interest?
And look, the Democrats, Lauren, passed an election bill today.
Yes.
184 people voted against it. How many of those were Republican?
Yeah.
All of them?
Right.
Only one Republican
Come on.
out of Florida whose district the Russians access
Right.
voted
Right.
for paper ballots.
Right.
Now again, I'm going to say this again for you simple Simon motherfuckers. Because I'm tired of this.
Unfiltered.
I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all with this silly ass, who ain't done this with an agenda. Let me explain it again, because y'all are clueless. Donald Trump put on the federal bench for life a white woman who is 35 years old.
From Georgia.
She
Yes.
she graduated law school
Come on, Jay. Come on.
11 years ago. That woman has a federal appointment for life. He appointed a white man in his 30s who has never in his life filed a legal brief. Let me unpack that again. This man has never filed a legal brief. Do you know how basic a legal brief is for lawyers? That man is now on the federal bench for life. So if y'all simple Simons really want to sit here and play around with Donald Trump potentially being here for 4 more years, let me unpack it one last time before I go to Lauren. The woman who's 35. What did I tell y'all? 2043, America will be a nation, majority people of color. Did I tell y'all that? Okay. That's 24 years from now. Do the math. She's 35. Plus 24, that means she'll be 59. Let me help y'all further. Judge Damon Keith, phenomenal judge, just died. He was 96. Let's say she lived till she 96. That means that when America becomes a nation majority of people of color, that white, far right wing woman will be on the federal bench another 37 years. But some of y'all want to sit here and play games when it comes to voting, Lauren.
Yeah. Well, the Republicans, again, on this version of the Republican Party understands
Good
what
Very good point.
what power and control
And this is by design.
Yeah, and they're willing to do anything to control the game, and they're going to massively resist. I mean, when you see an administration be in contempt of Congress and tell their people not to talk to anybody with no shame, they're now crossing over into
Ignore subpoena.
Right. I mean, like the law doesn't mean anything.
Ignore subpoena. We don't
Because
care.
Once we arrive at the tipping point where they start to realize that they're outnumbered, and you saw, this entire presidency with Donald Trump has been about, effectively has been about race. I mean, he said it before he even entered office, and now he's You know, he's trying to implement policy to marginalize the largest minority group in the country.
I am just and again, Greg, people need to understand. I ain't dissing reparations.
No.
I'm not dissing you demanding stuff from Democrats. I'm not dissing the demanding of a black agenda. But what I am doing is thinking a hell of a lot bigger than some of you small-minded ass people. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, Greg, we can't say, oh, we care about civil rights. We care about this while they over here putting people in power who will rule against every single one of those things. And what they don't understand is the politician might get voted out. That legal ruling is law.
That's right.
Is precedent.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And the courts are loath to overturn precedent.
That's right.
All right.
That's why I'm like, y'all, this thing is way bigger.
It starts, though, with that election of getting that person in, just like you said before.
That's right.
But I'm telling you,
Right. No, it's
the Democratic Party needs to understand that they need to wield power in a different way.
Which is why,
against what they're against.
And
they
again,
don't have that understanding.
Again, a whole bunch of y'all still mad at me for calling Obama out for appointing Merrick Garland.
Right. Exactly.
And I don't give a damn what y'all think.
Exactly.
He should have picked a black woman because you know why? He should have created the damn tension.
Right.
The tension of
Right.
a historic appointment of a black woman.
Right.
First in history.
Right.
In the
Leah Sears.
See, y'all don't understand. In the
That's right.
history of America, this is with Merrick Garland. 109 people served on the Supreme Court. 104 were white men. Had Obama picked a sister, in my estimation,
I agree.
Right.
Absolutely.
Professor Driscoll, my estimation, the tension would have been old white men not even meeting with
We
this
would have
sister.
seen, 1992 over again.
That would have been, you would have had months of what the hell are y'all doing?
And the
Right.
reveal was he was trying to accommodate Mitch McConnell
And Orrin Hatch.
and
Orrin
it didn't
Hatch.
work.
And
the rest of the Republican
senators, yes.
And
said this isn't good enough.
And I believe it would have further pissed off sisters.
Sure.
Right.
It would have pissed off black men.
Right.
It would have pissed off women.
Yep.
And you would have had
Brown people.
this
energy.
tension.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
how y'all not even going to interview
Right.
the first black woman appointed?
Right.
I believe that would have played a huge role in
That's
November.
right.
It was his last term.
And God sent you manna from heaven.
Right.
When the Lord, and I'm invoking the Lord, the Lord said, President Obama, Paul Ryan's sister-in-law,
Come on.
Yeah.
is a black woman
All right.
who you already appointed to the federal bench.
Right.
Yo, do you understand how perfect
Right.
the sister-in-law to the Republican Speaker of the House could have been appointed to the Supreme Court, and he would have had to go, do I say my sister-in-law, who's already a federal judge, shouldn't get a meeting? It was it. No, he picked the old white guy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because Barack Obama believes in America.
Didn't want to play hardball.
Right.
But that's
Exactly.
That's not his character.
Exactly.
You see, and that's one of the reasons why I am encouraged about this political time. Well, I'm saying that, you know, since there has never really been an American concept, these Negroes who think that somehow they can appeal to somebody's conscience or sense of national interest. And Barack Obama, it wasn't his character. It's not his temperament. He can't ball his fist up. And so he did what his temperament led him to believe he should do. And he didn't miscalculate on who Mitch McConnell and them were. He's willing to risk it all, which in this case includes us as hostages in his worldview.
Right.
But let's be very clear about this, because a lot of people talk about reparations. Now, I'm glad we're talking about it, but they don't understand the history of reparations. They don't even understand the political strategies of reparations. One of the reasons why the 5-state articulation was made by Mario Deli, the Republic of New African People's Organization, was that reparations isn't about asking somebody for anything. Reparations is about, out of a position of strength, making a demand. Now, once you have political control over some states, Mississippi, Alabama, almost majority people of African descent now in Mississippi. If you seize political control, and mind you, these are Gulf Coast states. They got ports in Mobile, New Orleans. Once you do that, reparations becomes feasible in part because the federal government going to have to make a decision. Do you want these people to exercise control over their lives locally? And let me just say this very quickly. As long as Alabama, I know the story, you know this sister who got shot and then her baby died, they're going to charge her. Alabama wants to be a Jim Crow state.
Yes.
Y'all stop playing football for the University of Alabama
There you
and
go.
watch how fast they start changing these
There you
laws.
go.
We have to now become...
There are other SEC schools to go to.
That is exactly right. We have to now be smart. And Barack Obama, God bless him, as brilliant as he was, as his terms of his capability, his lack of courage, and yes, the man did not have a lack of courage. Man had a lack of courage. His lack of courage cost black people in this country. So we have to hold him to account for what he did. That was just not only a missed opportunity, but that opportunity is going to come back around again. And we got to stop acting like, oh, this was a tragedy. Stop all that victim language and seize political control of your life.
Y'all, this is about power. Oh, 1 second. This is about power. All right, folks, back to that Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just 1 moment. All right, folks, they're back. MarijuanaStock.org has another great investment opportunity. If you were lucky enough to invest in the last crowdfunding campaign, you know they raised a bunch of money in just a few months investing in legal marijuana farms. Those initial investors now own shares of a publicly traded company. They are certainly on fire. Now they have a new investment opportunity that is as good, if not even better, than the last. I'm talking about industrial hemp CBD. For those who don't know, the hemp plant is the cousin to marijuana with a much higher concentration of CBD, which means hemp CBD gives you all the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the U.S. and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill changed all of that, making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S. and creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all the plants, which makes for an incredible investment opportunity. And that's where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. You can invest in this crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200 up to $10,000, something that you may not want to miss out on. Go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org to get in the game and to do it now. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.